Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, November 18th, 2019. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. And right now you'll see something that we haven't seen quite often here, at least during this run higher. We're seeing the early signs of kind of rejection here, and not only with the blow off top on Friday, but then here with how prices have rejected highs in pre-market trading. The rejection here in the intraday chart looks like it has the signature of a rejection. That's pretty significant, at least near term, which would suggest at the very least a reversion to the mean, being that price would likely rotate back toward the moving averages here, just as we have here every single time. Perhaps we come back and test the 8 period, maybe we drop a little bit lower and come back and test the LVN. Either way, this market remains trending higher. Even if this were to result in a bigger pullback, again, this market has gone higher after every single down day since this up move began. Over here you had that one last rejection, and since then it's been one day down followed by another day up. It hasn't put 2 days down. So again, while this could be early signs of rejection here, this market still has proven to be very, very bullish, and pullbacks are still to be defended. So it's still up in the air whether this thing will pull back further from here. But one thing to keep an eye on, at least on an intraday basis, is keep an eye on the 3120 level. 3120. If price cannot reestablish acceptance back above 3120, or if a retest and a rejection occurs, that could be an opportunity for additional selling pressure back down. Again, while this market has been very, very bullish here, there has been 1 day pullbacks. There hasn't been 2 day or 3 day or 4 day. This thing has only had 1 day pullbacks followed by a continuation higher. So we'll see if price can continue to hold below 3120. Perhaps there's a bit more pullback to the 8 period, but beyond that, this market has been so strong that any pullback has been defended so far. All right, let's take a look now at the NQ. If you look at here, the NQ has been pulling back from the highs of the day as well. The overnight high is pretty sharp rejection up there as well. 83.67 is the high. Price rallied up to that high just after midnight and around 1 in the morning. Had a pretty strong top up there. The turnaround was pretty significant, and now very similar to that 3120 level that we're talking about in the ES, you'll want to watch 83.30. 83.30 here on an intraday basis for the NQ. If there's a rotation back to 83.30, that's an opportunity for bears to defend, and if so, that could lead to more weakness back toward, say, 82.60, 82.50. Perhaps not on a 1 day basis, but it could perhaps do that. Again, if it's going to reject prices up here, then it'll start walking down the range of Friday's market, and then beyond that, beyond 82.50, starts to open up a little bit lower. Again, this market has been bid every time it turns around, and the pullbacks have been limited to 1 day only. And so right now, very bullish move higher. We've seen a big time continuation through the top of the range here, which is the top of the key range. We've seen a sharp rally after the FOMC key level here. So even if price were to pull back as deep as this zone, it would still be a buying opportunity. That's how much strength this market has seen so far, and how much the bulls have pushed price in their favor. So again, even if we were to see a deep pullback towards, say, 80, 60, 80, 50, that could still be a buying opportunity for a continuation. Not sure we'll see something that deep, but you never know with this type of rejection. If it does start to push down pretty hard through the 8200 here, then it's 1 more or 2 more big days here, and we're retesting the FOMC key level and the breakout point. And again, that would still be a buying opportunity, but it could still happen. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil has also shown early signs of rejection. Not quite a tail like the ES and the NQ, but one thing here is for sure, we were riding higher toward 58s, but the market couldn't quite get here today, where it poked its head above 58, hit 58.17, I believe was the overnight high, 58.17, and then pushed back down. You'll notice right here 58.07 is an FOMC key level. Price finally came back to retest that as well. We knew that that could be a level that was in play. That's the FOMC key level from September. Price went offered away from it, rejection, and then a slow return all the way back to it. So we just got it right now. So the early rejection here at that zone, again, if price can't get back above 58s, then perhaps we could be looking at a rotation back down within the current pullback. And right now, what you're seeing is kind of this uptrending channel here that's been in play. Maybe we see a rotation back down, but again, this market has proven to be able to bounce back right now. Until price drops back below 56s, this market is still kind of going higher at the moment, despite the pullback from 58s. But again, 58 is going to be an important zone. Right now, the market's dropping away from that area. Keep an eye on 57.70 on an intraday basis. It's close to that 31.20 and 83.30 that we're talking about in the ES and the NQ. Lastly, taking a look at gold futures, which you'll notice here is gold may be forming a higher low at the lower end of the channel. You can see here again, this market has dropped recently, and it's now at the bottom of this channel here. So this is the kind of the bottom of the channel right there. It recently had a spill to begin the month below the previous month's low into the major LVN here, not seen. And then formed a little bit of a rejection here and popped back above the previous month's low. That's 1465 right there. Price recently pulled back. You're seeing a failed new low develop today, with price having an early downtrend to begin the overnight session and after hours. But around 7 o'clock this morning, price pushed through and broke that trend and has now rallied through VWAP for the day and back above previous month's low. So now it's looking a bit like a rejection and a higher low. So again, if that's the case, bulls could be defending, call it 1460 here for a continuation back toward 1500. That could be the next 40 handles to the upside. Again, right now we're talking 1466 last price. So any pullback today, even 1463, 1462, even as deep as 1460, could be a buying opportunity for a continuation higher, especially if the ES and the NQ are throwing off tails up here right now at the highs, and if it's due for a short-term pullback, then maybe this is due for a short-term bounce. So we'll see how it plays out here. But again, holding 1460, staying above 1465 goes a long way toward bouncing back toward 1500. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.